What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Movies That Make You podcast, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're a catalyst for meaningful conversations. I'm Jonathan Sprang, and I go by Sprang, and most weeks we dive into movies to watch in preparation for a new release hitting theaters. But we don't stop there. We talk about the deeper ideas, the life lessons, and the morals that these films have to offer. This week, it is Marvel's most anticipated film of the year. That is Fantastic Four. This has been in the works for a very long time. As soon as they bought Fox, everyone was excited for when we would get Fantastic Four. We got a little hint of him in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but this one looks to be incredible. We hope you'll go check out our website. It's bio.site/movies that make you. There you'll find all of our links to all of our social media channels on YouTube, Instagram, and elsewhere. You can also find our podcast links to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can also check out our letterbox, which shows you all of our lists on the movies that make you laugh, the movies that make you cry, the movies that make you scream, and everything in between. Before we dive into this week's episode, though, let's take a look at the next 4 weeks on the Movies That Make You podcast. Next week, we're going to talk about Bad Guys. We're going to gear up for Bad Guys 2 by watching Bad Guys, the original, and Wreck-It Ralph, which is another story about a bad guy who's not really a bad guy. That was my Zangief impression. The week after that, we're going to be talking about Freaky Friday. We're going to watch the original and the remake starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, all in preparation for Freakier Friday that drops that week with Lindsay Lohan back and Jamie Lee Curtis back. So looks to be a lot of fun. So we're going to introduce the boys to the original and the remake. The week after that, we're going to be talking about street level helpers, street level violence guys, street level something or others, okay? Because I've never seen Nobody. I don't know what it's about, but I'm going to watch it for this episode. We're going to talk about Nobody and also talk about Equalizer with Denzel Washington. This should be a lot of fun gearing up for Nobody 2. After that, we're going to be discussing all of the original Fox X-Men films. The boys watched all the X-Men films, and so we're going to take this time to talk about them and see how the boys related to them, see what the boys thought about them. So should be a lot of fun. There's a lot of films there, but we'll try to get through it. So without further ado, let's get to the podcast. We are back with another episode of the Movies That Make You podcast. I am Sprang and I'm joined by my boys. Let's run it down, oldest to youngest.
I'm Connor, I'm 15.
I'm Colton, I'm 12.
I'm Zeke, and I'm 11 and a half.
There you go. And we are here to talk about Fantastic Four films. We watched the 3 movies leading up to this episode, all in preparation to see Fantastic Four, the first steps that Marvel's putting out later this week on Friday. So we're excited for that. But before we jump into the movies, let's do the mustards, because when you mustard, you got to catch up. Connor, why don't you go first?
We've been on break or on vacation, so that's been fun. And the last 2 days, I got 2 million XP on Fortnite. Yep. I gotta flex it on Colton because he's mad.
Yeah.
I'm mad. You're level 50 and I'm level 90.
I thought you said you're level 80.
I literally just checked and I was 90.
So what are you doing, Colton?
I've been playing Fortnite also because the new Blitz mode came out and it's really fun. So
can you explain what Blitz mode is for our audience?
It's a game made for mobile players and it's like 5 minutes long and there's only 30 people and like a small map.
Oh, gotcha. So you've been getting some crown victories?
9 of them.
9? That's a lot.
No. I've only been playing for 2 days though, so.
Zeke, what about you? What you up to?
Same thing as Colton. I found this new game called 99 Nights in the Forest that was based on a true story by Roblox. And it's about, there's this weird deer who's and it's super creepy. His eyes are giant, his mouth is super long. He stands up like a human, and he walks towards you, but he doesn't get near the campfire because light scares him. So you get a flashlight if you have one, and then you flicker it at him, and he's like, ah! And then there are a bunch of other events. There's a fur dealer where you can purchase better items. Instead of an old axe, you can get a good axe. And instead of an old bag, you can get a better bag. And then it's basically really fun. I've had lots of fun playing it. Colton started playing it, right?
I played it a couple days ago.
I've only played today, and I got to day 10 when
I got to level 20.
Good job. I've been playing Blitz Royale and Battle Royale Zero Build. That's pretty much it. So
Nice. Well, I've been working today, so I didn't get to play Fortnite. Boo.
Boo.
But we did have a good time on vacation. We just spent the week in Branson with some family, did some swimming, did some other activities. Colton, what was your favorite thing that we did over vacation?
Well, if it was like one thing, then it was the roller coaster. Or I don't know, the aquarium was also awesome. So they're both tied, but swimming would be like the best overall thing because I haven't swam in like forever.
Yeah.
They paid $12 to see my video while I was doing the roller coaster.
Like, they only bought his.
Because the trailer was so funny. It was like, if Z can do it, I can do it. If Z can do it, I can do it. And he was
Ah!
screaming.
Yep.
It was so funny. I loved it.
I was
What
also
was the
going
only
as
one of
fast as I
all the
could.
cars that actually had action, like had talking?
Yeah, because I noticed the camera, so I was just talking to it.
Nice. Connor, what about you? Favorite part of vacation?
Overall, probably swimming, and I like the golf, and I think my favorite was the roller coaster because it was so fast.
And you went down full speed the whole time?
Hmm.
Me too.
Nice. I did not. I was coasting, so I didn't slam into Zeke. What about you, Zeke? What's your favorite part about vacation?
Probably the pool, definitely. That or the zoo or the all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet that we didn't get to go to because that dad said we were going there.
Yeah,
And
what
then
happened to that?
We ate
Y'all
ice
had a
cream and
bunch
then
of
we
ice
weren't
cream,
hungry.
so you probably weren't
I
going to
was
eat
kind of hungry.
I
Yeah.
was really hungry. I ordered 2 sausage biscuits and like a hash brown. That's a lot
I
of
got
food.
2 hash browns because hash browns are the best thing McDonald's ever invented.
Agree to
Pretty good.
disagree.
Pretty good, though, for sure. My favorite part of vacation was the pool. I enjoyed playing football and stuff with y'all. That was fun. The coaster was good, and I liked the putt-putt because we won. Me, Connor, Colton, and Uncle Steven beat Grandpa, Kristen, Mom, Aunt
Aunt
Millie,
Millie.
and Zeke by one
Omelet,
stroke.
omelet, omelet, omelet.
Yep. So that was fun. It was a
One.
blast. One stroke.
One stroke. I could have, if I had only gotten the 4 whenever I took 6 strokes.
No, because we just did the best per hole. So only if you'd have gotten a hole in one would you made a difference. Did you get a bunch of twos?
I got a bunch of 2s and 3s.
There you go. Every two that you had put your team in the lead.
We
It
had
just
a
wasn't.
bunch of 2s.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to get a hole in one so bad.
I know.
I got so close. I
Did you get close to Colton? That's cool. Which hole was it on?
don't remember.
What did it look like?
What? It was like the one with the, what's it called? It was like the little dome and then it goes down
Oh yeah.
and that rolled out.
Yep. Very cool. Well, on our trip down, we had success with watching Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, and so the boys watched those. So here we go. A group of astronauts gain superpowers after a cosmic radiation exposure and must use them to oppose the plans of their enemy, Dr. Victor Von Doom. That is the short synopsis. Directed by Tim Story, written by Mark Frost, Michael France, and Stan Lee is also credited as a writer, mostly because he created these characters. Stars Ian Gruffudd, Michael Chiklis, Chris Evans, and Jessica Alba. And also, who was Victor Von Doom? Let's see. Julian McMahon.
That guy was such a Sigma.
He was pretty beefy. Yep. Big jawline.
Okay, yeah, that works.
That's literally me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It really isn't. I'm kidding. You actually do look surprisingly close.
Yeah.
I must say.
My jawline's
No, that's me.
absolutely stacked. Because I've been mewing.
So basically, the story is that they are going to space. Some radiation seismic blast happens. They get superpowers. So, what are the 4 heroes that we get? Go ahead, Colton.
Fireboy, Invisible Girl, the stretchy guy, and then Rockman. Or The Rock.
See if we can get the real names.
The Human Torch, Invisible Woman, Thing, I think is The Rock's name, and then Mr. Fantastic.
Yes, that is correct.
Were those it?
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
of it? Let's go.
And then Victor Von Doom was on the same space trip, but he gets like really, really strong superpowers where he can control things with his mind.
He has lightning powers.
Yeah.
Unlike Fortnite.
In the comics, he is nearly, if not more powerful than Thanos without the gauntlet. So that's how powerful Victor Von Doom is in the comics. He's very formidable enemy.
You said better than Thanos without the gauntlet?
Mm-hmm.
Thanos without the gauntlet's weak.
No, he still defeated the Hulk without it even trying. Remember?
Victor Von Doom's like extremely strong. And Thanos is mid.
Thanos is a Titan, so he's really, really strong and powerful. And he defeated, he didn't have the gauntlet and he beat up all three of the Avengers. They couldn't take him down. He didn't have the gauntlet then. Remember?
They're probably weak then. Who was it?
Okay. Who was what?
Who did he beat up?
Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They couldn't take him down. But they're the OGs.
So, I need to tell you this story about the Doom season in Fortnite. I had the Island of Doom. I died right before the announcement came on that the Doom armor was being released, and I didn't get it.
Oh, dang.
But
so
thankfully,
close.
They got the Doom, like the Doomsday Fortnite events. Like, it was a limited time game mode. They had the quests and everything. You can be one of the superheroes, but I got one of the bad guys, and I got to be Doom. I got to be Doom.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Pretty epic.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. I loved it. But it was like for 2 minutes, so.
Connor, what are some of your favorite parts about the first movie that we watched?
Like, before, it showed them what they're like and stuff, and then after, they changed a lot. Like, their personality, it felt like. Well, not the Torch.
The Human Torch.
Human Torch was still pretty cocky. So what changed about their personalities?
They just seemed different. I don't know. It didn't seem like the same person.
Yeah. Colton, what about you? What's something that stood out about the first movie?
Saying all their powers, because I didn't know what powers they had.
Yeah, this movie is actually the first time I really encountered the Fantastic Four. I didn't read any of the comics growing up as a kid. I had some Spider-Man comics, but I didn't read Fantastic Four. So 2005 was the first time I heard about the Fantastic Four, and I knew about them, but it's the first time I saw like what all their powers were. What about you, Zeke? What's something that stood out about the first movie?
Just the Human Torch. He was like so cool. Like he did a bunch of stunts and he grew fire. And the part where he's like, whoa, I'm ice skating. Oh no, the ice, it's melting. He burned all his clothes off. That was hilarious.
Yeah, and then they had to get a special suit so that he could not burn his face off. Cool. So anybody want to tell me who Human Torch was? Zeke?
The Human Torch was one of the Fantastic Four superheroes who could light themselves on fire without being harmed by their fire.
Okay, that is a good definition of the Human Torch.
In order to defeat Dr. Doom, the Human Torch had to create a supernova which almost destroyed the universe. But thankfully, the Invisible Woman captured the supernova while almost killing herself.
Wow. Zeke, why'd you say that like Wikipedia?
I know, right?
Oh my gosh, I like the Fantastic Four.
No, it's good. You were speaking very much like a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's try another question then. Did anybody recognize the actor that played the Human Torch?
Captain America.
Yes.
I knew it.
So this was his first superhero film, 2005. And then when the second movie came out, let's see when that came out. That was 2007. So 2 years later, Rise of the Silver Surfer came out. But then Captain America, the first Avenger, came out in 2009. So 2 years later, he was another Marvel character. But this Marvel group, like the Fantastic Four, the first two films and the one we watched last night, were all made during the time that Fox had the Marvel rights. But then Marvel bought their rights back to those characters recently, and so that's why they're doing the movie now. Connor, what's your favorite part about the first Fantastic Four?
I don't know. I guess when they got their powers.
Zeke, what about you? What's a fun part of the first movie?
So one of the most crucial moments was like when the girlfriend of the Thing, the girlfriend of Bruce, he turned into the rock guy, and then he was like, "I'm sorry," and then he took his hat off, and then she's like, "Who are you? What have you done with Bruce?"
Yeah, it's Ben, but yes. Yeah, that was a pretty crazy moment.
It was very crazy.
Yeah. Can you imagine being friends with somebody and then they show up as a rock person?
I would still be their friend.
It would be a shock though.
Yeah.
Like when people, like Connor, you said that like they changed their personality. What do you think might have caused their personality changes?
Their powers, and it's kind of hard to tell somebody that you got powers because they might think you're weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Anybody have a favorite of the Fantastic Four? What's your favorite?
Fire guy. He's the strongest.
What about you, Connor?
I like the rock guy.
I like the Human Torch. He's low-key such a Sigma.
Yeah. I definitely think Human Torch is really cool. Mr. Fantastic, like the stretching thing, feels a little weird, but it was a comic from the early days, so we give it a little break.
Give it a break. It's from 2005.
Yeah, I was thinking more of the comic books were early on, so that's a pretty interesting thing, and I think they explored that really well in the one we watched last night. But we'll get to that in just a minute. Cool. Let's go ahead and rate it. What do you got, Colton?
A 5.
Okay.
Really?
Connor?
I give it I don't really like it, so I give it a 3.5.
Okay. What about you?
I give it a 4. It's really good. Like the plot, like the villain. The villain versus heroes, they're like so like cool. Like all the powers, I admit the stretchy thing was a bit weird. It was very cool though. Yeah, it was just all of the powers were super cool.
Nice.
I like Victor Von Doom because he can beat Thanos without the gauntlet.
Yeah. Cool. I think I gave it a 4. I liked it when it came out. So yeah. Awesome. Well, let's move on to Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Fantastic Four learned that they aren't the only superpowered beings in the universe when they square off against the powerful Silver Surfer and the planet-eating Galactus. This was also directed by Tim Story, written by Mark Frost, John Turman, Don Payne, and stars the same four as Fantastic Four. And also as Silver Surfer, we have the actor that played him is Doug Jones. He's the one that did the motion capture. And then the person that voiced him is Lawrence Fishburne, which I know from the Matrix series as well as others, but pretty cool. When I heard the voice when you guys were watching, I was like, oh, I forgot that he did the voice of Silver Surfer. Cool. Any major story points, not favorite parts, but major story points that we need to talk about? What's the big deal with Silver Surfer? Go ahead, Connor.
The Silver Surfer liked the girl because she reminded him of his wife.
Yeah. So he saved her, right? That was kind of a big turning point for the feeling like Silver Surfer's a bad guy, or is he something else besides a bad guy?
He is an anti-hero. He did bad things to protect the ones he loved.
Yeah.
And I rate that as a 5 out of 5 anti-hero. He has a really good backstory, and he's just really cool. He has really cool powers.
So what was his role? What was that, Colton?
You said anti-hero and I said Taylor Swift.
Oh,
like a song.
nice.
His role was leading Galactus to planets to eat.
Yes, because Galactus needs to eat planets. What did Galactus look like in this one?
A storm.
Just a big storm, like a space storm of some sort. So in the new one, he's going to be more like he looks in the comics. It looks like, which he also looked more like that in the Lego Marvel game. Galactus was in that, and also wasn't Galactus part of the Fortnite piece?
Yeah, he was a big part of the Fortnite thing.
Which season was that?
Like Season 2. No, Chapter 2, Season 3 or 4, I think.
It was Chapter 2, Season 4.
I knew it.
Galactus is so ugly.
Is it the Marvel season that he was the villain?
Yeah.
Well, it was more of the X-Men season. Because they called it the Marvel season, but it was only like X-Men characters.
There was Iron Man.
Groot?
They had Iron Man. But they
Yeah.
had like Wolverine, Storm, Mystique,
Mm-hmm.
Wandoom.
Mystique is low-key such like a... Their skin actually gives you a power-up. Like, you can look like your opponent's teammate, and they can be like, okay, you're this. Wait, what?
It's the person you kill.
You're an opponent, but you look like my teammate. That's pretty cool. Oh. I forgot I was playing a game. That's literally their reaction.
I would just kill them because they would have a gamer tag over them if it was my opponent or my teammate.
True. Connor, what was your favorite part about this movie?
Seeing Silver Surfer fly and watching the Torch try to kill him or attack him.
Mm-hmm. It was interesting when I was watching or listening while you guys were watching. I felt like that it was very similar to how it looks like we're going to be introduced to Silver Surfer in the new film. What we've seen from the trailer, Silver Surfer shows up, the Fantastic Four are standing there, and then Silver Surfer flies away, and Human Torch chases him, and then grabs his board, and then in the trailer grabs his board, loses his powers, and falls. So we'll see what happens there. What happened when Human Torch connected with the board this time in this one, Colton?
Connected with the board. Oh. He was like super powerful.
What happened though with his powers when he touched the board, when he got back to Earth?
Touched the board? Like the...
When he touched Silver Surfer, right? Didn't something happen to his powers when he got
His
back?
powers switched with someone else.
Who did he touch? Was it Invisible Woman?
Rock
I
guy.
think it's the Rock.
Wait, no, it was Invisible Girl first, because I remember there was a scene where she was like, help
She was
me!
on fire.
Help me!
And then he touched the Rock guy, and he was super excited that he looked human again. I remember hearing that. Cool. Colton, what about you? What's your favorite part in the movie?
When the fire guy is like super powerful and defeats Victor Von Doom.
So Victor Von Doom is back? How did he make his way back?
I don't know, but he was in the ending. Because I remember him being super annoying because he stole Silver Surfer's board and then started like flying around as like a side quest. And then they just killed him and then they went to fight Galactus.
Yeah. What's up, Zeke?
I think how he came back was because there was a scientist who was like, wow, I see Victor Von Doom. I'm going to freeze him and wait till he's not obsidian anymore. Pretty much.
Okay.
I think.
So did they end up fighting Galactus, or what did they end up doing at the end?
Silver Surfer ended up sacrificing himself in order to save Earth.
So how did they defeat Victor in this one? Because
they just attacked him. The fire guy
You
stole
said he
all
got
their
super
powers.
powerful, right? So what did he do? How did he get so powerful?
Touched everyone. That sounded very weird, but yeah.
And because he had got that power from the board, from the Silver Surfboard, he then absorbed all of their abilities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he said the most epic line.
It's clobbering time.
That's the classic line for the thing. All right, Zeke, what about you? What's your favorite part of the second film?
My favorite part of the second film was when he was like, no, don't attack her. He got the missile because he's like, you remind me of her. Silver Surfer explaining his backstory to Invisible Woman really like did it for me. It like caused so much like, wow, this is a sad backstory. He has to do this in order to save his wife and his family and his planet, but mainly his wife. His family and friends are like, that was
it definitely gave him a lot more layers than just being a bad guy. He was more of a victim of Galactus than he was a villain. Cool. Any other thoughts on Silver Surfer?
I feel like he's like a secondary antagonist. Well, a main antagonist until Galactus. He explains Galactus. And then he's like, I'm the secondary antagonist. Okay, now I'm a turnaround. Okay, now I'm dead. Pretty much.
he ends up being the one that saves the Earth.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. One other thing I wanted to mention before we leave this series, because these are the only two that have these actors in it, is Sue Storm was played by Jessica Alba. And I think I asked the question in the car, what other movies do you guys remember her from? Do you remember now what I reminded you of?
Black Widow?
Mm-mm.
Well, actually, no. Wait.
It was a movie that you guys watched, had to do with kids.
Minecraft movie.
No.
You told us. I remember.
Had to do with
And
kids?
they spy on
There's
Kids.
Spy Kids.
Spy Kids.
She was the mom.
I don't remember her. She was the mother, but she
was
changed
the
her.
mother.
I looked at her picture on IMDb, and it was like, well, she changed her hairstyle. Her hairstyle. She can't possibly be the mother. Wait, that's the mother of the Spy Kids?
Yep.
No time thing?
Yes. I don't remember how many she was in, but I know she was in at least one or two of them. Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and rate it. Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Connor, why don't you go first?
4.
Zeke?
4.5. It's really good. Did better than the last one.
Colton?
That's a 5.
5? Nice. And I gave it a 3.5. But I might give it a 4 because actually listening to it this time, I enjoyed it. I just didn't get to watch it this time, but it was still good. A fun story and fun to kind of get this backstory. Now, the cool thing for you guys have seen these two movies now is that you have a good idea of how they became who they were, how they became the Fantastic Four. You've been introduced to the Silver Surfer origin story. The origin story might be different in the new movie that Marvel's coming out with, but you'll at least have a kind of a framework for what you're walking into. So you won't be kind of clueless as to what's going on, because I don't think they're going to show them getting their powers, because we've already seen it this time and then in the one we watched last night. So let's get to that one.
One last thing about this.
Yeah.
The remaining question is, what did Invisible Woman do at her bachelor party? There is still a question. That is the question.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, that was a big part of the second one, is that they were trying to get married at the front end, and then they got interrupted, and then he was trying to build this some sort of machine for the government, and then that ended up calling Galactus, or at least doing something, right?
Doing something. The surfboard called. It's a beacon.
Yeah. But then they did end up getting married at the end, so that was pretty cool. All right, let's jump into 2015. So this is 8 years after Rise of the Silver Surfer. This one is directed by Josh Trank. It was written by Simon Kinberg, Jeremy Slater, and Josh Trank. And now we have 4 new actors, 5 actually, because you count Victor Von Doom. We've got Miles Teller as Reed Richards, Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm, Kate Mara as Sue Storm, Amy Bell as Ben Grimm, and Toby Kebbell as Victor Von Doom. So we get pretty much in this film, we get the origin story of how they got their powers. Half the film is basically them building the machine to help them go to this kind of transdimensional space. Once they get there, they get their powers, they come back, and then they're captured, they're imprisoned by the government, trying to figure out how they got their powers, trying to use them for evil, trying to use them to be weapons instead of using them to help people. And then they go back after they find Mr. Fantastic. They go back to the transdimensional place, and Doom is still there. When he comes back to Earth, he vows he's going to destroy it. He ends up having some amazing powers, goes back to the transdimensional place, and basically forms a black hole that starts pulling things from Earth into his space, and the Fantastic Four have to work together to stop him. What's some favorite moments, not just one, but a couple favorite moments from this film? Colton?
When he goes into the hallway, or Victor Von Doom does, when he gets his powers and he just kills everyone.
It was pretty epic, for sure.
That's awesome sauce.
Anything else that you liked?
Oh.
No, just that.
Ah.
Okay. How about you, Connor?
When the stretch guy is a kid and he's building the machine, I thought it looked cool.
Yeah, that was really cool because they kind of started as they were kids, and he's working it as a science project and building the machine that's going to end up being the thing that takes them to this other dimension. He doesn't know that he's building that. He just thinks he's trying to build a teleporter, but it ends up building this thing that teleports them out of this universe. So, Jamie Bell, side note, Jamie Bell, who played Ben Grimm, he's actually married to Kate Mara, who played Sue Storm in this film. I don't remember if they got together during this film or before or after, but just a fun note of that. And also Michael B. Jordan. What else do we know him from? Go ahead, Zeke.
We know him from the movie Sinners, as we've seen in the AMC theaters. You can find us there if you look at Fantastic Four. You can find us there, maybe.
Yeah. You haven't seen Sinners, though. You're just talking about the
I'm talking
trailer.
about not the trailer, like the
the sign.
like the signs from AMC theaters. You want to see us? Go to a movie, Fantastic Four, new one, maybe.
Yes. So what else? Michael B. Jordan.
Creed.
Creed. Yep. Connor, anything else? Your number 3 favorite Marvel movie of all time?
Mine?
No, Connor's. Black Panther.
He's Black Panther.
He was what? No,
He was
wasn't.
Killmonger.
Oh, the enemy of Black
Yeah,
Panther.
I remember
Yeah.
that. We watched a What If episode, like if Killmonger went with Iron Man or something, and then he killed Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. Anything else that stands out about this one?
How Victor Von Doom was just a teenager, or like in high school, and he was just like playing video games, and he was like, I remember I started this one teleporter thing to a different dimension. So like, yeah, I'm just gonna play video games now.
Mm-hmm. Because he was tired of being controlled by the American government. He wanted to have the science and do the science
by himself
without any oversight, because he's like, this is my deal. I thought the way that they introduced this character was good, because it was like he wasn't necessarily a villain to start with. It was that he got trapped in that space, and he got all that power. So the power kind of went to his head. And then he's like, I've always been a loner, because he was kind of felt like an outcast his whole life. And so again, it was more like it gave him some layers to his character. So he wasn't just a big bad guy. He was someone who had pain, and who was struggled to fit in, struggled to be liked, and even within the team, they kind of picked on him a little bit when he first showed up. So that was good, though. Yeah, I think the Doom stuff was cool. I thought all of the visuals were really amazing. I thought that the Thing looked great. It was a very modern kind of look of the character, which I think in the other one that we just talked about, it was more of a bodysuit. In the new one, it's CG, but it's made to look really comic book accurate, whereas this one was made to look more like realistic in the modern day. So I thought they did a good job with the visuals of the Thing. And I did like the way that they kind of did like the training stuff with Sue Storm, showing how she has her powers, showing how she can kind of form the orb and actually fly within the orb, and take everybody with her when she flies. So that was cool. And I liked the look of Doom. I thought that he looked cool. He looked different than the comics, but he had a cool look to him.
There is no Victor, only Doom.
Yeah, that was a good line. All right. Anything else about the one we watched last night? Okay, let's do this then. How did it compare to the original Fantastic Four?
It was better.
It was way
You liked it better?
It wasn't that great, if I'm being honest. I like the design of the original Fantastic Four. Like, they were so much more funny and like creative. It was amazing. I liked it so much better.
Okay. And Connor, you liked this one better?
Mm-hmm.
What made it more likable for you?
It just seemed like a better movie. The second one was better than the first. So.
Okay. Gotcha. What about you, Colton? How does it compare to the original one?
It was gooder than the first one.
Okay, cool. What are you looking forward to about the new one?
That the Rock guy goes back to his original face, because I don't like the one this movie.
Thing is awesome. He's
I like his
amazing.
personality in the trailer. It looks really funny.
Yeah.
Making the soup or whatever. That was pretty fun. Connor, you got anything you're looking forward to about the new one?
The vintage look. Yeah, I think that was cool.
Yeah, I'm interested. I almost said it in the when we were watching the movie last night, but the Baxter Building is traditionally the big tower that they used for their base of operations, and there's been a lot of rumors that the Stark Industries Tower that we saw in Avengers was going to end up becoming the Fantastic Four Baxter Building. But I think the way that they're actually going to do it now, because this Fantastic Four film is from the 50s or 60s, I think they're going to say that was the original. So it'll be cool to see that. I'm looking forward to seeing how they kind of explain that. And then I think because we saw at the end of Thunderbolts, there's a Fantastic Four ship that's flying into modern day. I'm interested to see kind of where they came from, who that is. Are they going to introduce us? I know they're introducing us to Galactus. Are we going to get introduced to Doctor Doom, who's going to be played by Robert Downey Jr.? Is that going to be in this movie at all? Are they going to hint at it? Like, I'm excited for some of those pieces.
Curious.
Yeah.
George.
With the man with the yellow hat.
Yeah, that guy, the monkey, the monkey died. I think. How did he die again?
Oh, they erased him because he was animated. They just took the eraser and just.
No, like.
Which monkey?
Okay, kids, cover your ears. So how did he die actually?
Who?
Or the monkey.
Oh, the monkey was always animated, buddy. He wasn't a real monkey.
I know. Like, you told Colton that, like, you know what happened to Curious George? He went out into the jungle and he never came back. You couldn't keep a monkey as a pet, so he was like, I'm sorry, Curious George, you got to go back, and then he died.
How do you know he died? He could still be out
You
there.
told me that story. You told Colton that story.
I don't remember that.
All right, kids, you can uncover your ears.
Well, how would they hear that?
That's a good question. Let's actually rate it. We didn't rate it yet. Let's go ahead and rate this. Fantastic Four 2015. Zeke, you go first.
3.5.
Okay. Colton?
It's a fantastic 5.
Okay. And Connor?
4.5.
Okay. And I give it a 4. I enjoyed it. So it was good. When it first came out, it had some controversy because there was some stuff going on between the director and the studio. So it didn't come out exactly how the director wanted it to, but I feel like that they still presented a fun, exciting movie. And I enjoyed the actors as these characters. And at the very end, he's about to say, and then the camera cuts.
That was
just shows the logo.
I think they do that in Invincible. There was wait, what was it called? A filter? Yeah. There's a filter and people try to not make it activate, and it's Invincible.
Yeah, the way that every episode begins is saying something about his name, and it cuts to just the logo. That's how every episode begins of that animated series.
IMDb agrees that the original was so much better. See, The original got a 5.6, and this one got a 4.5. Went down.
That's the people, not the IMDb.
Yeah, it's the overall rating.
Yeah, overall, people like the original better.
It's fair. Everybody's got their own opinions and thoughts. So, cool. Well, everybody, go see Fantastic Four First Steps this Friday, and we'll see you at the movies.
All right, hold on. Before you end, I gotta do something. Jumping jacks. 1, 2. I am so pumped up. That was from the Lego movie. I watched it this morning. It was so funny. Get out!
Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Again, you can check out all of our links at bio.site/moviesthatmakeyou. Feel free to drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. So until next time, keep watching movies.